Psalm 51, 52. For the end, concerning understanding, by David. When Doeg the Edomite came and reported to Saul and said, David went to the house of Abimelech. Why do you boast in evil, O mighty Eman? And in lawlessness all the day long? Your tongue devises wrongdoing. You work deceit like a sharpened razor. You love evil rather than good. Wickedness rather than speaking righteousness. You love all the words of destruction. You love a deceitful tongue. Therefore, God shall destroy you completely. He shall pluck you up and remove you from your dwelling, and uproot you from the land of the living. The righteous also shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him, saying, Behold, this man did not make God his helper, but hoped in the abundance of his riches. And he was made powerful in his vanity. But I am like a fruitful olive tree in the house of God. I hope in God's mercy forever and unto ages of ages. I will give thanks to you forever for what you did. And I will wait on your name, for it is good in the sight of your holy ones. Psalm 52, 53. For the end, for Mahaleth, concerning understanding, by David. The fool said in his heart, There is no God. They are corrupt and abominable in lawlessness. There is none who does good. God looked from heaven upon the sons of men, to see if there were any who understood or sought God. All turned aside, they were altogether rendered useless. There is none who does good, not even one. Do all the workers of lawlessness not know? They eat up my people as they eat bread, and do not call upon God. They err in great fear where no fear was. For God scattered the bones of men pleasers. They were put to shame, because God scorned them. Who will bring the salvation of Israel out of Zion? When God brings back the captivity of his people, Jacob will greatly rejoice, and Israel will be glad. Psalm 53, 54. For the end, in hymns, concerning understanding, by David. When the Ziphites came and said to Saul, Is not David hiding with us? Save me, O God, in your name. And judge me in your power. O God, hear my prayer. Give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers rise up against me, and the powerful seek after my soul. They have not set God before them. For behold, God is my helper. The Lord is the protector of my soul. He will return evils to my enemies. Utterly destroy them in your truth. I will sacrifice to you voluntarily. I will give thanks to your name, O Lord, for it is good. You delivered me from all my afflictions, and my eye looked upon my enemies. Psalm 54, 55. For the end, in hymns, concerning understanding, by David. Give ear to my prayer, O God. And do not despise my supplication. Attend to me, and hear me. I am vexed in my prayer, and troubled by the enemy's voice and by the sinner's affliction. For they turned their lawlessness upon me, and in wrath they were indignant with me. My heart was troubled within me, and the terror of death fell on me. Fear and trembling came upon me, and the darkness covered me. I said, Who will give me wings like a dove? And I will fly away, and be at rest? Behold, I fled far away, and lodged in the wilderness. I wait for the one who saves me from faint-heartedness and storm. Drown them in the sea, O Lord, and divide their tongues. For I see lawlessness and strife in the city. Day and night, it shall surround her upon her walls. Lawlessness and trouble and wrongdoing are in her midst. And usury and treachery have not ceased from her squares. For if an enemy reviled me, I would have endured it. And if one hating me boasted against me, I would have hidden from him. But it was you, a man my equal, my guide and my friend, who together with me sweetened our meals. In God's house we walked in unity. Let death come upon them, and let them go down alive into Hades. Because evils are in their dwellings, in the very midst of them. But I cried out to God. And the Lord heard me. Evening and morning and midday, I shall tell. I shall proclaim, and he will hear my voice. He will redeem my soul in peace from those who draw near to me. For they are with me in abundance. God shall hear, and humble them. He who exists before the ages. For there is no change in them. And they have not feared God. He stretched forth his hand in punishment. They defiled his covenant. They were scattered by the wrath of his face. And his heart drew near. His words were softened above oil. And they are arrows. Cast your care upon the Lord. And he shall support you. He will never allow the righteous to be moved. But you, O God, will bring them down into the pit of decay. Men of blood and deceit shall not live even half their days. But I will hope in you, O Lord. Notes from the previous page. 51:1 Psalm 51 reveals who will be in the world to come, creed, which belongs to Christ, the end, v1. It is also called the land of the living, v7, that is, the land occupied by the resurrected righteous ones, verses 8 to 11. And that world is also said to be forever and unto ages of ages, verses 10, 11. But the unrighteous, such as Dog, will not be there, vv. 2 to 7. 52:1 Psalm 52 revolves around two questions, both of which relate to Christ, the end, v1. The first question asks, do all the workers of lawlessness not know? v5, and the second, who will grant from Zion the salvation of Israel? v7. The answer to the first question is yes, for they willfully reject Christ as God, and therefore are fools, v1. But, in answer to the second question, their rejection cannot prevent him from granting salvation to the church, Israel, v7, see also Galatians 6:16. 53:1 Psalm 53 is a prophecy concerning the betrayal of Christ. For just as the Ziphites betrayed David, see 1 Kings 23:15, 21, so also Judas and the Jewish leaders betrayed Christ. These leaders are called strangers and the powerful, v5. Nevertheless, Christ's sufferings and sacrifice on the cross were voluntary, v8, for no one could take his life from him without his consent, see also John 10:18, 18:6. And he thanked the Father, O Lord, v8. For his resurrection, v9, to teach us to do the same. 54:1 Psalm 54, similar to Psalm 53, is a prophecy concerning the betrayal of Christ, who is the end. In the midst of his sufferings and betrayal by Judas, verses 13 to 15, he prays on behalf of the church. For within the church there is suffering and betrayal, sometimes even to death. For example, when he prayed, and the terror of death fell on me, v5, he was not saying this because he himself feared death. Rather, he intercedes for us, for our fear of death fell on him, that we might not fear it. Therefore, when death fell on him on the cross, he, in turn, destroyed it once for all by the power of his divinity.